Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Free agency never, ever disappoints. E- Except when you don't have a quarterback and all the moves you make don't matter. No longer true for the Broncos. Got a quarterback. And now that the Broncos have a quarterback, Will, in Russell Wilson, it feels like every free agent move just feels like a little bit of extra what's
It's
it?
like
Cherry on
icing
top,
on top. Yeah.
icing on top, butter on top of the
Hmm.
icing. Throw
Yeah.
in a little bit
Sprinkles.
of HGH, and that cake, that dessert will get you a
Some
giant Peyton Manning,
Parmesan.
sized head, and you'll be ready to destroy free agency. The Denver Broncos just stole Randy Gregory from the Dallas Cowboys. It was
Yeah.
reported this morning, Gregory going back to Dallas, and then all of a sudden, our best friend Vic Lombardi breaks the news on Twitter. Randy Gregory coming to the Broncos, and before I could finish reading the tweet, I had accidentally smoked 2 blunts to celebrate Gregory coming to the Broncos. And so Denver addresses their edge rusher need. We're going to jump in, talk about this, talk about the under the radar signing in defensive lineman DJ Jones. A little bit of Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson recruiting talk. We're just going to talk Broncos free agency, Chargers free agency. Welcome, Will Keys, my co-host, my writing partner, my second wife, really.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yep. Make sure you give Will a follow on Twitter at Guillermo Yaves. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you use code DNVR when you sign up at DraftKings. And of course, my delicious coffee company, Bench Warmer Brew. I got damn fine fucking good coffee, and I think we still got some of the t-shirts available.
Go
So
get
check it
yourself a
out.
t-shirt. They're the
Yeah, if you
best.
sign up. Sorry, what's that, Will?
They're the best t-shirts.
They are
So
really
good.
good. We're going to get some new designs, hopefully, for the fall. But if you sign up for the subscription service, you'll save 25% off of my coffee. All proceeds go to me. So support me. And then you kind of support Will, too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Chiefs are losing Tyrann Mathieu, but they signed
They signed Jordan Reed from the
Jordan
Texans.
Reed. Yeah. Jordan. So that's basically a swap out, get a little younger at the position. But let me start with this question, Will.
Mm-hmm.
What were your initial thoughts about the Randy Gregory signing? Because it's not necessarily a slam dunk, but it does address an area of need for the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to address it with one of probably 3 guys,
Mm-hmm.
those being Von Miller, Chandler Jones, and or Randy Gregory. And Gregory is kind of a wild card because he's got the highest upside and he's the youngest. He's not young necessarily. He's 29, but he's younger than the other guys.
Yeah.
And they signed him to a 5-year deal. Don't know how long it's guaranteed or when the outs are, but I think people see the $70 million figure and panic a little bit, but over 5 years, like that's not really a ton for a really good pass rusher. And people are going to see the suspensions and they're going to see a few injuries and they're going to see not a ton of sacks, but I think he had the 11th highest pressure rate of edge rushers per Pro Football Focus.
Yes.
So this is kind of betting on a guy who showed really, really good stuff on tape.
Yeah.
Like his production is certainly not bad. He played 12 games and had 6 sacks. Like that's not also an interception and 3 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
That's
Those forced fumbles are pretty nice.
Those are, yeah, some would argue that the Broncos have been missing those for a while. So I think they are betting on a guy whose production doesn't necessarily match, what he shows on film. And let's Dallas got, a shit ton of sacks from Micah Parsons, who was, kind of greedy in terms of picking up sacks last year. So not a ton to go around there between him, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Micah Parsons. So you understand if he only got 6. But this is the move out of Jones, Miller, and Gregory. Gregory has the highest upside for sure. So they are betting on now and, the next 3 years in terms of getting Randy Gregory.
Yeah, I think that's really well put. And you kind of hit on exactly some of the things I was thinking. And Will and I did not pregame this show. There was no planning.
Hell no.
But Daniel, yes, also excited for the Broncos for the first time in a while. Yeah, this is the way I look at it. One, Gregory suspended in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. That's a guy who got a lot of rest. His body is good to go. Not a lot of wear and tear on Randy Gregory.
Yes.
Also, I saw where's it at? Sorry, I'm just looking up the tweet. Our friend that we met in, not Vic Lombardi, but Vic Vea, that we met at no, that was Adam and I. Sorry, Will. But ran into him down when we did Adam's stadium build in the middle of nowhere, Colorado.
Great video.
But Vic tweeted about Randy Gregory, who's turned his life around after receiving dozens of suspensions. I don't know if it was dozens, but suspensions due to drug issues. He's been in and out of rehab, but became a leader for the Cowboys last year. So this is a guy who made some changes in his life for the better. I don't know what kind of drug issues he might have had outside of weed. I know a bunch of those suspensions were marijuana related. The NFL's changed its stance on that. You basically have to pass just one drug test a year. There's no more random testing. You know when it's coming, so you can get around it. So even if he still wants to do the weed, I don't think that's as big of an issue as it was prior to the last collective bargaining agreement. But anyway, they're betting on the future, and I trust George Payton and his group of scouts in the way that they evaluate talent. A lot of people are like, oh, this was a dumb signing. He only had 6 sacks. Let's not pretend like all of us sit around and watch Dallas Cowboys games for fun. I know they're on primetime a lot, but we don't fucking watch the Cowboys because we're sick of them. And
I try not to watch the Cowboys. I try purposefully to avoid the Cowboys as much as I can.
And last year, a big part of their success was those 3 pass rushers you mentioned. And Gregory, he was in 12 games. DeMarcus Lawrence was hurt. So Micah Parsons was there to eat up all the stats because he played all year. And he was really used in situations, in pass rushing situations that you might not expect for a linebacker. So, yeah, I think there is an upside with Randy Gregory. I don't think the suspensions are an issue anymore. And that said, I would have liked to see this be Von Miller. I really would have, just for nostalgia. I also think Von Miller's still a little bit better than both of those guys. Although if you're looking just at sacks recently, I think Chandler Jones has the most over the last 3 years. So you're guessing it. And I'm guessing the Broncos scouts and George Payton wanted Randy Gregory for a reason, and they haven't let us down yet. And so I'm still going to trust him.
Yeah, and they've done a good job at identifying pass rushers too. Yeah. Like in kind of a small scale situation when you drafted Jonathan Cooper in the 7th round.
Right.
And you pick up a guy like Stephen Weatherly, they kind of know what they're doing. You can tell when it comes to pass rushing, and they were saddled with, Bradley Chubb didn't have a very good season. Obviously, Von Miller traded halfway through the year, and then Malik Reed kind of slowed down in his 3rd year. So I think the moves that they have made to find edge rushers have been successful. They just haven't taken a big swing, and this is This is
Right.
obviously their first big swing. And as to who would win in a fight in their prime, Michael Keaton or John Bon Jovi. I just watched the
Michael
last
Keaton.
two Batman movies, Batman
Yeah.
1989 and Batman Returns. It's Michael Keaton.
Keaton would fuck him up.
Come
I'll
on.
put it out there bluntly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Todd super chat with Randy Gregory signing, maybe push for Wagner and then Miles Jack and put him at edge. With his build and speed, could be a potential good replacement on edge. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go after Wagner or Miles Jack, and
It'd be kind of expensive at this point.
Yeah,
I would like to see them pick up a defensive back.
I heard on I think it was James Palmer on NFL Network. Looks like corner and or another defensive line piece are kind of their two focuses for the remainder of free agency. And with all of their, they still have a lot of second day draft picks. They could address either of those positions in the draft, but we'll see what they do. And there's still there's guys that were on the team last year that they could re-sign. So they haven't made a move for Josie Jewell yet, have they?
They have not. They haven't made a move for Jewell or Callahan.
Right.
Or, AJ Johnson, I suppose, too.
Yeah, let's see here. Teddy Bridgewater's gone. We know that. But, yeah, Bryce Callahan, AJ Johnson, Kareem Jackson, Melvin Gordon's pretty sure he's on his way out. They could bring back Stephen Weatherly to add depth for the edge there. But Josie Jewell, if you're looking at the linebacker, you would like to see him back. I'd be fine with AJ Johnson too. But overall, I think Randy Gregory will provide production for the Broncos, especially if Bradley Chubb stays healthy and produces like he did his rookie season. I know that's a big question mark too. You have two edge rushers with a lot of potential, and the Broncos are betting on that sort of coming together this year. Oh yeah, I guess right tackle still something they're interested in addressing.
Yeah.
But Taron Armstead is the big name out there, and that's going to be expensive.
That's kind of the thing at tackle is it's hard to get a deal done before the Armstead deal gets done because he kind of what he gets will it will affect and shape what other tackles end up getting.
Trickle
in terms
down
of money.
Economics, baby.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So don't panic, I think is what we're trying to say too. I think you win free agency not on day one, necessarily day two either, but kind of later in the process with the bargain deals that end up being really good picks.
I say you win free agency on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's also a very good point.
When did the Rams win free agency? When they won the Super Bowl, Will.
Did they even win free agency, or did they just trade for all their players?
Yeah, they trade mid-season.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, now we know what our team's like. This is actually what we need. And that's kind of fair. Like if you think
something
about
to
it,
that. Yeah.
Who you think your team is prior to September versus middle of October, when the realities become, kind of crazy or completely different. Whether that's injury, whether that's performance, and that's both good and bad in terms of performance. Certain guys you thought would be better are worse, and certain guys you didn't expect to step up are really good. And even the Rams kind of got fucked right after they signed OBJ. It's like, oh my God, they got Odell, they got Kupp, they got Robert Woods. And then Robert Woods, I think after 1 week there with Odell, tears his ACL. So, free agencies, it's a gamble, and there's so many things that can change after you make your signings. But I'm excited for Randy Gregory. I guess I kind of followed the Cowboys a little bit closer last year just via Clickbait Sports and Scooter. wanting to either, make fun of Scooter or talk about the Cowboys being better than anybody else wants to give them credit for in clickbait. I tried to pay attention, and they got after quarterbacks through a trio there. And there's a couple games Randy Gregory looked really good and impactful. So that's nice. But let's talk about DJ Jones, Will. I knew nothing about DJ Jones until yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I knew him. Like, I knew who he was. Usually, like 300-pound defensive tackles are fairly anonymous, especially like on a defense with someone like Nick Bosa on the edge.
Yeah, it's funny. Arguably, like the biggest player on the team, you kind of forget about him.
Right, he kind of just like blends into the masses. He didn't have a sack until his third year in San Francisco, 2019, the year they went to the Super Bowl. He was a 2017 sixth-round pick. So this was the first John Lynch draft class that he was selected. And he played at Ole Miss, but he also played at East Mississippi Community College, which is, last chance U.
Oh, he's a last chance U'er?
Yeah. So
hell yeah.
He had a couple of sacks last year, but he had by far his most tackles, 56 combined tackles, played all 17 games, forced 2 fumbles. Looks like he swatted a pass and had 10 tackles for loss last year.
Yeah.
So he was an absolute monster when he needed to be a monster, which was contract year. So, this just seems like kind of a no-brainer. I mean, 3 years, $30 million. I'll do that any day of the week.
Yeah.
You got to stuff the middle a little bit.
That's the thing. Like, I don't give a shit about the money on any players. I don't care. I do not care at all. Look what the Packers just did. Look at what the Packers just did. They were in the worst cap situation of any team in the league, even by the experts saying how hard it would be for them to make it work for Aaron Rodgers to come back. They sign Aaron Rodgers, give him $150 million guaranteed. They franchise tag Devontae Adams. They still got to figure that out. They bring back Devondre Campbell. They bring back I can't talk. They bring back Preston Smith. Like, they did everything I have been listening to Grossi tell me they weren't going to be able to do. So you cannot overpay anymore unless, in my opinion, it's a quarterback that is not a franchise QB, but you end up giving franchise QB money to, a la Jared Goff or Carson Wentz. And even those guys, if you don't want them, there will always be a buyer. So the Rams
somehow,
the Rams, they make it work. So I'm not worried about any of the money ever, especially
the one thing you can't do is, trade for a guy like Carson Wentz and let him go after a year after you spent multiple first-round picks getting the guy. Yeah. That's like the only place where you can really, really screw up. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Which, by the way, they still don't have a quarterback. Interesting.
Yeah, and the Colts have all of the cap space in the world. They have so much money to spend right now.
Yeah. It's like that. Someone posted, the AFC finalist banner that they hung from their rafters.
Right.
Most cap space in the NFL.
I was trying to find this tweet. Let me bring this up here. Our guy, Zach Stevens, since 2019, DJ Jones started every game he's played in. So that's 42 games, 42 starts, and that's on a good San Francisco defensive front. So to start there, you got to be good. 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 73 tackles, and 8 QB hits. There was a run stuffing stat about. Plus there was this hit on Russell Wilson, which was amazing.
Obviously mixed feelings right now.
Yeah. So Russ is familiar with DJ, so I'll be curious when Russ has his Broncos press conference, what he says about him. This is the replacement for Shelby. Damn it, I was trying to, maybe it was Andrew Mason who had the stat. The big difference is DJ is going to be more of a run stopper in the middle there too. And I think a really big bodied presence has kind of been missed a bit on the Broncos. They've kind of goes undersized defensive linemen, and I don't know why they would need to stop the run, though, in the AFC West, because I don't think anyone is running ever again in this division, except maybe the Broncos.
Right.
The Chargers, you got Eckler. They don't commit to the run. The Chiefs, even when the run's working, they get
forget
away
to
from
do
it. So maybe there's a little bit of a non-factor there, but that's kind of what we're getting with DJ Jones. And under the radar in that I didn't really know who he was, but the more you kind of look into it, looks like one of those. It's kind of the equivalent of what you just said about a day 3 signing where there's a lot of value there. But
yeah, I mean, sometimes the best signings in free agency are the guys who you really didn't know before.
Yeah.
Like one of the best Broncos signings in free agency history, I think, was Darian Stewart in 2015.
Yeah,
which
100%.
was like everybody was like bitching and moaning about the 2015 offseason because it just followed up a free agency period where they got TJ Ward, Emmanuel Sanders, Aqib Talib, DeMarcus Ware all at once. Yeah. And it's like, oh, there's no money in 2015 to go get these like impact players. Yeah, no, duh. But they still got a really, really under the radar
he was
smart
the final piece.
guy like Darian Stewart, who was he was the missing puzzle piece there to replace Raheem Moore, guy who could actually finish the job against the Ravens. And interesting too, that brings me to another point. The Broncos have a good history of importing Dallas Cowboys pass rushers who wear number 94.
Boom.
Something to think about.
Easy breezy. Also, like this is kind of how they got Emmanuel Sanders. If you remember, he was about to sign with the Chiefs. And then, the lure of Peyton Manning helped bring Sanders to Denver. And the rest is history. Super Bowl champion Broncos because of Sanders, because of Stewart, because of Ware and War. That was a big one.
Huge.
We'll probably talk about this offseason similarly, I hope, with Russell Wilson. Maybe if Russell Wilson, if Randy Gregory gets, 10 sacks and the Broncos are in the playoffs, they win with Russell Wilson, fucking slam dunk. We just slammed the dunk so hard on free agency. So hard. DJ Jones, game saving, blows up the line, sacks Patrick Mahomes to push the Broncos ahead of the Chiefs in the AFC West standings to be number 1 in the AFC West. I can already see it happening, Will. Am I getting a Russell Wilson jersey? No, I don't wear or buy jerseys, but if I did, I would. Will and I, did you order the shirt, Will?
No, not yet. I need to.
Oh, I ordered that shit.
Oh, you did?
I ordered a Russell Wilson shirt that I will wear on this show. I promise.
Yeah. I wish they came in different colors, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You think Russell Wilson will wear number 3 or number 16? Because he wore number 16 both times in college at NC State and Wisconsin. Shocking that they haven't retired number 16 yet for our friend Jake Plummer.
Jake Plummer. I kind of I like 16 because of Plummer. I think
he'll probably wear
3
because
cleaner
of branding.
looking QB number.
Yeah, we just had a 3 quarterback though.
Yeah, go with 16.
Go 16. But he'll do that because his brand is the 3 logo. It's an RW. So it's not gonna.
Unless you think you can make more money by switching your brand up a little bit there.
Yeah, it's hard to make something out of a 16. I'll be honest.
You know where you can make something out of a 16? Nice. DraftKings Sportsbook in the Sweet 16, whatever the hell that is. Soon, I'm assuming. Has the tournament even started, Will?
No, not yet. A couple days.
But it is soon.
Yes.
Basketball.
Oh yeah.
Biggest tournament of the year, some say. And there's only a few days left to join in on all the action before the first teams tip off on Thursday. Oh, look, it's Thursday. And DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a shot to bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. You win, they win. They win, you win. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on college hoops with same-game parlays. You can combine multiple bets from the same game for bigger payouts. The more legs you add, the more money you can friggin' win. You just got to use code DNVR when you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. That's code DNVR. That's the promo code. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. DNVR, you got to be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Okay. Russell Wilson apparently ranked all of the possible teams he could go to.
Yeah.
And unlike early reports, I saw some information out there that said he had 13 teams he would consider going to. And the Broncos were tops of the list. Maybe not number one, but one or two, possibly three. And that he had a handful of conversations with Peyton Manning, picking his brain about Denver. So John Elway recruited Peyton Manning, and in return, Peyton Manning helped recruit Russell Wilson, and one day Russell Wilson will help recruit some guy we don't even know who he is yet. We'll just say Jeremy Burns. Jeremy Burns. Do you see this kid, Jeremy Burns, tearing it up in the college ranks? Oh, God, he signed with Team X.
What about Arch Manning?
Later, Jeremy Burns, really unhappy, but now he's going to be a free agent acquisition by the Denver Broncos. That's the truth.
Release the hounds. That's going to be our Jeremy Burns t-shirt.
Yeah, maybe Arch Manning is the next guy to recruit. You know,
I think the timeline for Arch Manning works out pretty well actually now.
Is he 5 years away? 6 years away?
Yeah, well, he's in. So let's see.
Is he a senior? A high school?
I think he's entering his senior year now. I love to do some sleuthing on high school kids. He's 18 already. Damn. Congrats to him. He can smoke a cigarette. How is he born in 2004 and already 18 years old? That feels incorrect.
Hold on. I'm banning somebody from the chat. Some fucking racist asshole. Okay, thanks for notifying me. He gone. All right, what were you saying?
We're just doing some, we're looking up Arch Manning.
Okay, yeah. Arch Manning.
Because this is the most, most topical thing to do right now. He's a 2023 college prospect, so he's going to be a senior next year, which is crazy because he's already 18. So
yeah. So right when Russell Wilson might be ready to leave the Broncos.
So we'll get 5 years of Russell Wilson.
And then 50 years of Arch Manning.
We'll draft Arch Manning. He will sit for 2 years, and then he will be ready to go. That is basically the perfect timeline as far as I can tell. He's going to either Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, or Texas. Interesting.
Wow. Oh, man. That'll be interesting. I don't want to talk about it, though. Next. People were happy from the last episode when I got mad at the guy who took a dig at you.
Yeah, I was too.
Honestly, I first pulled up his message because he was taking a dig at me, and then I wouldn't have pulled it up if I saw that it ended with him making fun of you. But people were happy about that, so it's pretty common sense. You talk shit about the guy who I co-host with every week and myself. I'll take the heat. Don't you dare go after Will. I'm used to it. I'm used to it on YouTube.
I don't know the logic of going at both of us, really.
No.
Like,
Well,
if you're trying to make a power play and possibly take my job, like, I understand the logic there.
yeah. He did submit some very impressive writing samples after that.
Damn. Well, I will update my resume. But also just the nonsensical dig of like, I missed the videos with the fake TV. There's like 50 of those a week.
Yeah, idiot. Dude, I do so. Dude, people, I guess, like, I don't know. Or some people just don't know how to navigate YouTube.
No.
Somebody, I think it was during GPS, was like, man, I hope you bring back the Broncos recaps.
Well, yeah, I'll bring it back when they're playing again.
Yeah, you mean like I did? I don't think I did every game this year. I think I probably did 15 or 16 out of the 17 games.
Mercifully, I think we missed one.
Yeah. You mean recapping them every week like I've been doing for the last 9 years? Yeah, I'll bring them back, buddy. Anyway, Randy Gregory, good addition to the Broncos defensive line. DJ Jones. We talked about we want him to bring back Josie Jewell. Would like them to bring back. I want them to bring back Bryce Callahan and sign a corner. I want 4 fucking starting caliber.
Let me ask you this: what do you think about Tyrann Mathieu? Is that someone who intrigues you at all?
Yeah, I would like to pair him next to Justin Simmons. I like that
because I guess the Rams last year played a lot of dime packages, which you need a couple extra defensive backs to pull that off. So
you do not say dime with Randy Gregory on your team.
Yeah, we got to avoid that kind of terminology.
We will call it the silver package from now on.
Who's on the dime? Lincoln? Roosevelt? I think it's Roosevelt.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Roosevelt package.
I just saw Hamilton. I should know.
I don't think he was on it.
Isn't he on the $10 bill?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think so.
Hamilton money, yeah, that's 100.
Who's on the dime? Wait. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I nailed it on my second try.
Hamilton is 10.
Who do we have on the dime? Oh, do you know that Lady Liberty, most notably of the Statue of Liberty, was on the dime before Roosevelt?
Wow. That was hot. I always thought the Statue of Liberty kind of sexy,
Yeah. I think her, maybe her dress may be a little too long.
Well, here's an interesting one. Assuming the Chiefs don't go in and get Jeff Gladney. Look, Jeff Gladney's interesting because the Vikings draft Jeff Gladney. Was he drafted when George Payton was there, or was that the year after?
No, he was definitely still there.
Okay. So you got to imagine he's on George Payton's radar. Then gets arrested for domestic violence issue or accused of domestic violence. Doesn't play. It's like a wasted pick because you grab this corner.
They cut him.
Oh, they cut him. Yeah, because of the legal situation. Right. He was a first rounder too, right? Wasn't he their first round pick?
Uh-huh.
So doesn't play all last year, goes to trial, gets a not guilty verdict. So he's going to be reinstated. That's an interesting case. No pun intended there. But like probably a good corner that you're going to get for less than market value, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how good he is, though, because we haven't seen him play.
He's played 15 games in his career as a rookie, and now he's 25.
Did he play as a rookie?
He did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he played in 2020. Yeah, he played 2020, then August 2021, he got arrested. And the difference between this and like Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson was not criminally charged, but Gladney was found not guilty.
Right.
So he is legally not guilty.
Weird. Yeah.
A little bit of a difference there.
And I don't know a lot about the the case. But let me look up, what was his Pro Football Focus grade?
Great question.
Not good, but I
He's a
also
rookie.
don't fully
Come on.
trust that.
Yeah.
Mixed bag for a rookie. And let's see, they have him listed as a slot corner.
It's intriguing.
And that's kind of the Broncos. What I read, I think it was NFL Network. They're looking for that nickel type corner if they're gonna make a move for a guy in free agency. So he could fit that.
Should we see some of the best remaining free agents?
Sure.
And find out if any of them fit. So we got Allen Robinson. It looks like the Patriots are interested in him.
Wow.
That would actually that's a pretty bold move. So we still got Teron Armstead, Von Miller, Chandler Jones. Don't think any of those are going to happen. Allen Robinson, Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagyu.
Jadeveon Clowney. I don't think that's going to happen just because they just got Randy Gregory, but he is someone that can play. He's a little more versatile, so he can play in the 5 technique defensive end. That's something to think about. Play with his hand in the dirt. Stephon Gilmore. I don't know. I heard about him in the Raiders. That doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah, because the Raiders have done nothing. The Raiders have done nothing.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't brought in like a former Patriot or something yet.
Well, yeah, with the Josh McDaniels connection.
Right. So that's what McDaniels did when he came to Denver. He signed like Lonnie Paxton and Jabbar Gaffney and another defensive lineman whose name I can't remember. But usually that's what happens too. And I guess
some
the
guys
Broncos got that with Ben Braden yesterday.
Yeah. Another depth piece for the offensive line, which is important because you never know when an O-lineman's going to go down. The Broncos have had issues keeping right tackle healthy even when they make moves for it. And Dalton Reisner got banged up last year. There's, some rotation. We lost Graham Glasgow. So, yeah, you need depth on the line. I guess we should talk about the Chargers, too, because they probably made, I think, one of the most impactful signings in J.C. Jackson for their team. Arguably the best corner in the NFL. You could just call him top 3 because usually all of those guys are about the same. Had 8 picks last year. Allowed one of the lowest passer ratings when targeted. So just an all-around good corner, and he goes to a Chargers team that their issue was defense last year. So that's a power move. After, they traded for Khalil Mack. Another big move. Khalil Mack to me is more of a 50-50 kind of deal where if he's healthy, he might be really good. He was injured last year, but this is the same thing with Von Miller, right? He missed all of 2020, comes back 2021, was playing pretty well for the Broncos. He still gets traded to the Rams and then kind of goes off as a Ram, but he was a part of a very good Rams defensive front. Khalil Mack could have the same sort of resurgence because he's got Joey Bosa on the other side. Now he's got a lockdown corner on the back end and Derwin James. And then they also go out and get, Joseph? What's the guy's name? Joseph Day?
Oh, Sebastian Joseph Day.
Sebastian Joseph Day.
A lot of people thought he was going to come to Denver.
Yes, and that's the only reason I really know his name.
He was hurt most of the year for the Rams. I think he ended up playing in the Super Bowl, though. Or he got healthy.
Yeah, he got healthy for the Super Bowl. So
convenient
that's like
time to get healthy.
Yeah, that's probably like their underrated signing that a lot of football nerds like. So they've done a lot to try and improve. The aggression kind of matches, I think, Brandon Staley's approach to football. And they also have Justin Herbert still on his rookie deal. they're going to have to pay him a lot of money soon. So right now is the time to make those splash spending moves, which we're just not used to the Chargers really doing. So it kind of feels weird that it's the Chargers, but I'm kind of just happy that it's not the Chiefs, honestly. I think LA will be competitive. They look like they're great on paper, which is usually a curse for the Chargers. So I'm also okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, with the J.C. Jackson signing, a lot of money, obviously, but I don't know if interceptions necessarily translate like that. I think that Belichick defense turns the ball over a lot, or takes the ball away, I should say. I think a lot of that is a product of that system. I think everybody you put back there ends up becoming kind of a ball hawk. Not that he's not a good player, and not that he's not, deserving of the money after. Well, he only played 3 years there, right? Or did he play 4? So he was an undrafted free agent.
Was he really?
Yeah, pretty
Damn.
sure. So he doesn't really have the pedigree, but the most productive cornerback by far. Then again, though, like he's not going to have, we talk about the quarterbacks now in the AFC West. Like you could say the same thing about J.C. Jackson. He's not picking off passes against Zach Wilson and 2018 Josh Allen and those kinds of guys Tua anymore. So the degree of difficulty gets tougher for everybody who signs here too.
Usually the better you are as a corner, the fewer opportunities you have for picks, because teams tend to just throw away from you. It's what happened to Champ Bailey after his 10 pick season or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think his pick numbers will translate, but I think he's talented enough to still be like a lockdown guy. And I mean, we'll just see. We'll see what happens. But in theory, I think it's a really good signing. I feel like I'm probably a little bit higher on it than you are. But
okay, I just want to throw this out there. Some of his interceptions, I'm looking at his game logs right now. Picked off Miami in 2018. I was pre-Titans Tannehill. All right. Picked off Mitch Trubisky. Picked off rookie Josh Allen. 2 interceptions against second-year Josh Allen, who was still not good. Picked off Deshaun Watson. Or maybe did he? No, he didn't. I'm sorry. Picked off Patrick Mahomes. Good for him. 2 more against I think this is Ryan Finley. So 2 against Ryan Finley. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Drew Lock.
classic.
I think this is Nick Mullins here in San Francisco. Then Josh Allen, then Sam Darnold.
Okay. I get what you're saying, Will. Yes.
He's not playing those quarterbacks anymore.
He picked off Zach Wilson 3 times last year. So 3 of his picks came against old Zachy Wilson. He also picked off whoever the fuck was the Panthers corner or a quarterback when they played. Matt Ryan, Ryan Tannehill,
Trevor
Lawrence. Okay, half of his picks came against rookies last year.
Yeah.
And then when he
You're
played
not playing against rookies now.
No, when he played Josh Allen, okay, this is you bringing up a very good point, Will. I'm admitting that I might be wrong, okay? So fuck me, Will. Fuck me, you might be right. Against Buffalo, his passer rating, he allowed 117, 118.
Interesting.
Let's see here. He did not give up. Wait, and he gave up a touchdown in that first meeting, but not in the second. All right. He sucks. Chargers got swindled. Chargers got ripped off.
Finally, people understand.
The worst.
I made my point.
Very good. Thank you, Will. Oh, yeah. Here we go. We mentioned Calvin Anderson earlier. That's a nice signing. I thought he played well in his limited time. I think one game he kind of struggled, but I know Mario Ventanzi is really high on him. So very nice.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, 1 year, $1.5 million for a swing tackle. That's good money. It's money well spent.
Yep. Now we see. We see what their next move is. We'll be patient. We'll have video up on the AFC West in the next few days or so. We'll be back with another pod later this week as well. No, not Copium. No, I just discovered he's a horrible corner against good QBs.
Unless he's bringing Zach Wilson with him.
Oh, Jameis Winston got him, and Davis Mills got him. Those are the only games he allowed over 100 passer rating.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of copium, sure, but that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, and I guess here's the final point about Randy Gregory. Jones is not overrated, and they didn't overpay for him, but Gregory, I think, is going to cost a few mil year less than what Von Miller was going to command or Chandler Jones. So that probably factored into the decision as well as the upside, and also keeping a couple extra $1 million available for the other player that I think they're working on trying to sign. So keep that in mind as well. Overall, the Broncos are getting better, and the AFC West is going to be ridiculous. Too much talent. One team has to underperform. For the first time, I really don't think it's the Broncos. It's not going to be the Broncos, right, Will?
It can't be. It can't possibly be.
Yeah. And okay, what did we change our outro to?
Oh God. Feels
Is it
like
Russell
10 years
Wilson?
ago already.
Guns don't kill people. Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah,
kills?
yeah.
All right. So, with that, we're getting out of here, and guns don't kill people.
Russell Wilson kills people.
And that'll make sense once my shirt arrives and once Will's shirt arrives. Last super chat there by Benji Clay. The way the Patriots defense works is they double team the wide receiver 1, and JC was normally on wide receiver 2. Not as worried about it as I am Mac with our O-line. Yeah, we have PTSD from Khalil Mack's 5 sacks. I do admit that. All right, and